Alright guys, I just want to show you something quick. Anybody that's into tuners and all that crap with the SM95 Cobras, specifically the 4.6 dual overhead cam Cobra, we all know they like to run a little hot all the time in the summer, AC or no AC. One thing about the Anderson Motorsports EFI tuner thing, it's a plug and play. Right now you can't see it, I got a hid a harness in there and the rest on their seat right there. That's my two-step for right now, launch control, whatever. Eventually I'm going to hook it to the clutch also and have another switch. Those switches were from my electric boost controller when it was boosted. And those are my homemade shift lights. I made a video on those before. Yellow is my red line, which is adjustable in the PMS, and red is just like my fuel economy one, or I have that come on about, I don't know, 3,300, 3,400. Sometimes I'll set it at 4,300 when the RMRCs open up the butterfly valve intake things. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to fan control. Alright, so your car, you want the fan to come on a little sooner. Right now, my car's cooled down quite a bit, but I'm just going to show you. I actually had to set a little higher, but it's probably already cooled down that much. What you do is fan control, temp on and off. Temp on, that means you want it to come on. And there you go. So right now, my car is at 174, and that fan will keep running until the car cooled down to 142. Or if you watch, I will make the quick change, increasing the temp. See? So it's actually at 170. So with your fan control on the PMS, you set it whatever you want to shut off at and come on at. Always want the off to be lower, obviously. The lower the number, the longer it'll run, like I just showed. I put it down to 150 and go back up. I don't know what temp the car is actually at. A cool down. Yeah, it's at about 164 right now. But pretty cool option. But I'm not going to leave that there. I'm going to put it back to come on at 206, and you'll hear it. There it goes. I'm going to put it back to 200, and then I just back out and see there's all the other, there's a bunch of adjustments in this thing. TPS, you know, that tells everything. Rev limiters, you got two of them. Main, your stage 1, I can adjust up to 10,000 RPM if I wanted. I got it set at 68. I believe factory is a little bit higher, but my two-step, that little button there, eventually I want to put it on the shift knob or something and use it almost like traction control. That's what I've been using it with the snow. And believe it or not, it works real good, especially in the Cobra. Anybody that's driven a Cobra in the rain and snow knows. Standalone. This actually does have full standalone capabilities. I have it off right now, but when I go back to boost it, I can set a sort of fuel and timing settings, come on at TPS and RPM I want, and then definition data. There's 3 settings, so I could have one for race fuel, one for say pump gas, and one for say economy, whatever. Global fuel, that's how much percentage you're adding to the total pulse width of the injectors. So overall, speedo calibration, you can adjust speedo. Wideband O2, you can turn on or off, so you can read it in lambda. Sequential adjust, if I remember, that's for individual cylinders. You don't want to mess with that. This is main menu. I can adjust my idle fuel. As you can see, I got them all at 0, so that's factory. Whatever the factory computer is doing, that's what that's doing. Timing, startup fuel, so you got a big cams in it. A lot of guys run these PMSs in their 5.0s and they have hard starting problems, I've heard. So they can take fuel out, you know, or add fuel, whatever. Don't mind me, it's like 7 degrees out. Part throttle, fuel and timing adjustments, and here's a whole grid. Right now I'm pulling a little fuel out. That's load, so high load, medium load, low load, and then versus RPM. And to add fuel, I just positive or negative, and that's all that's doing is just cranking up the pulse width and the injectors, or holding them open longer, whatever. And I got a BBK, fuel rail adjustment I want to do. I got it cranked up a little bit, so I just leave that alone. Timing, it's a little cold out, so my fingers don't mind me. Part throttle timing, same thing. It's RPM versus load, low, medium, high load. Wide open throttle. See, idle, part throttle, wide open throttle. You gotta set your TPS up perfect with these things, or they're not gonna work right. A lot of guys buy these PMS systems, get it, they don't work for crap. I did it actually myself. I ended up stripping a whole turbo kit off because it wasn't making no power, it wasn't running for shit. I found out later my TPS was off by a couple volts and it screwed the whole system up. And I was very angry. And that's why at once it was boosted. And right now it's going to be getting torn apart. Wide open throttle, fuel timing, same situation. This is a little different. See, wide open throttle fuel, it's just RPM. There's no graph chart like the other one. So I got a little fuel going in above 6,000, but I don't go up that high, but just in case. Timing, same thing. I can add or take out as much timing. So at 2,000 RPMs with the throttle to the floor, I'd be taking out 7 degrees of timing. So that's pretty much how it works. This also, what I like about this, if I do decide to go nitrous, I would just select on, and there's an output, there's wires wired up to the nitrous solenoids, and I can actually run, say, a dry shot. I don't need a wet shot, and I can add all the fuel I want. Obviously you want to do it with wideband, and I'm probably on a dyno, or I used to just have my buddy come with me and have him drive and do a couple highway pulls. Same with timing. I can pull timing out with the nitrous, and now this will only engage when nitrous is engaged. And this also has 2 RPM activated or TPS activated window switches, which I'll get to right here. Right here's port 1. I don't have hooked up to anything, but I don't know how well you can see. You can have it come on, you just turn it on, and you set it for whatever RPM or TPS you want to come on. So that's great for nitrous. I had port 1 set up for electronic boost controller that would open it up to about 8.5 pounds at one time. That's what that other little light was for, so it let me know when it was hitting more boost. It was actually making boost, but like I said, all along it was the TPS I didn't have set up, and my mass airflow sensor actually too. But port 2 right now, I'd show you. I got to start the car up, but I showed in another video. They're 12 volt signals. You can do TPS on or RPM on, like I said. Right now I got it so it's coming on at 3,600. It's about where I want to shift. I figured out that's about where my fuel mileage is before the butterflies open up, and it shuts off at 6,600. So when it shuts off, right now I know that's when it's time to kind of shift. I mean, if I want to, I could have made it come on at 6,800 or red line, say, but I have it this way instead, so it comes on like a fuel saver for now. I got to run another wire so I can run one for, say, economy and one for red line. Alright, enough of that. Temperature, another adjustment. Water, cool, temperature, fuel. I can add or take out fuel. You can see it's been cold, so I take a little fuel out. And this is temp, degrees Fahrenheit, goes up 250. So obviously the hotter the engine gets, less time you want, or fuel, whatever. And also air temp, fuel. So inlet air temp, I can add